In this week's episode of Flipping Genius, we're going to talk about what to do when you make a bad decision and some scams out there that you've got to watch out for. If you buy and sell vehicles for a profit or you want to, you're in the right place. This is the Flipping Genius podcast. Our number one goal is to help our listeners make more money. Every episode, we share information, ideas, and experiences of real-life car flippers. I'm Randy Lee. I'm the host of Flipping Genius. I've flipped cars most of my life. For over a dozen years now, I've been a licensed dealer. I am working to build the best podcast about successfully flipping cars for a consistent profit. Let's get to it, flippers. Hey, flippers! Good to see you again. Sorry, this episode, if you're a religious listener and you tuned in this morning at 6 a.m. To listen to episode 112, I'm embarrassed that you didn't get a brand new one. I'm trying to get this to you before 24 hours are up, just because I believe you don't want to create bad habits. But a lot of things are going on that kept me from getting this episode out right to you on time. But we'll be in your pocket before long. Chances are you're not listening to this live anyway. It may be 2027 when you're listening to it, because I never know when this will come up. Hopefully everything I talk about will still be pertinent. You never know about that either. And one of the things I want to talk about right away are some scams that I want you to be aware of. If you're already a member of the Flipping Genius Flipping Forum on Facebook, you may have seen my post earlier this week because of this scam that I've noticed on Facebook. And I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, but this particular one I wanted you to be aware of. And if you hadn't read my post on the Flipping Forum, I definitely wanted to tell you about it. It happened to me at least 10 times in the past week, where I used Facebook Marketplace and I use Facebook groups to publicize the vehicles that I'm trying to sell, as well as look for vehicles that I can purchase and anything else that I can do to promote the Flipping Genius empire and all that we do here. So I'm pretty well represented on Facebook, but I doubt if any more so than a lot of you. So you're probably seeing the same thing. So had a few vehicles for sale that immediately I started getting these responses from people, which I was pretty sure they were bogus. And I'm sure you probably would be too, but it's best to bring it to your attention. They were reaching out to me and immediately saying that they wanted to buy my vehicle. Anytime somebody says that, I usually think there's something goofy. I price them pretty well, but people would want to look at them before they buy them. But this was a little different twist than the one where they are going to send me a certified check, let me cash it, and not come pick up my car for 3 weeks like they used to do back in Craigslist. This time they just said they want to buy the vehicle, they want to pick it up right away, and please send them my cell phone number, which my phone number is always in my ad. My phone number is pretty much any place on the planet. In fact, I've heard recently from a couple of the listeners, just pick up the phone and call me, and it's fine. I appreciate that. One of the guys was looking for the telephone number of the gentleman I used to replace my windshields, and he was a local dealer, so I was able to help him and hopefully help Al, the windshield guy too. And hopefully you guys are both listening to me and telling everybody about the Flipping Genius and sharing it. But I'm losing my train of thought here. Get back to the scam, Randy. So they said, just send a text with your phone number so I can verify that you are real. Me, wanted to make sure I was real. And my first thought was, well, I guess there could be some scammers out there who are posting ads. But my second thought, and it came pretty quickly, is that something was up. So hang on a second. I I should have picked that phone call up while I was recording. There's somebody trying to sell me some kind of scam warranty on my vehicle that has 351,000 miles on it. Getting back to the scam at hand, they were saying that they didn't know if I was real, so they wanted my phone number and asked me to text my phone number. The first time I think I texted it 3 digits at a time. That apparently didn't satisfy their need. Then I immediately looked it up to try to find out what the scam was about, and that's what I posted on the Flipping forum. You can see it on the Flipping forum if you're a member. It's free to join, so go ahead and join, and you'll see that that's still posted there. As of this date, which is right now, it's the 16th of March 2022. Just to bring it current in case you're listening to this often in the future. But basically, they're trying to I think they're trying to clone your telephone number. So that was what I believe was told to me on that research that I did. The key here, simple enough. If somebody asks for something ridiculous as that, just ignore them, block them, report them to Facebook, and move on with your life. Don't try to exchange anything with them. Don't try to find out what they're all about. They're about something no good, and just recognize that people don't buy vehicles without looking at them. That's insane. But it's just an example of what's happening out there. And by the time you hear this or read this or see this, chances are there'll be 5 or 6 more scams that come our way. And that's one of the things I'd love to see us share more often on the Car Flipping forum. If you've got something that someone is doing unethical, that you can help each other out and share that with each other, I'd love to see you guys do it too. And as I come across them, I'm certainly going to share them on there. If you're not a member of the Car Flipping forum, just go to Facebook groups, search Flipping Genius, and you'll find all of our groups there, including the Car Flipping forum, which will be the first one that comes up. And we use the blue and white logo that you see behind me on the video, or that you've seen many places before, the Flipping Genius logo, and we'll invite you in once you answer a couple questions, because we're trying our best to keep the spammers and scammers out of there. There'll probably be 500 members in there by the time you join, and that group is growing rapidly. And I'm proud to say that the folks who are members are starting to participate, share, and help each other, and that's what we're all there for. Speaking of beware, when we come back, I'm gonna take a little break. When I come back, I'm going to share with you another thing to be aware of, and in my case, this is beware of stupidity. But I'm going to talk to you about making bad purchases and how to overcome that. Be right back. Hey, thanks for listening. And I want you to consider becoming a Flipping Team member. And when you do, we will share with you a startup kit that is valued at $250 or more. And each month, you'll get our Flipping Team Member Success Pack, which is also designed to help you make more money. Each and every month, you'll get more bonus material and other information because you're a Flipping Team member. Go to flippinggenius.com and click on the Flipping Team Member button to learn more. Okay, we're back. Last week, I mentioned a vehicle that I purchased, which was a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 extended cab. Not a bad looking vehicle. It had a lot of miles on it. It was pretty worn, but for my purposes, it looked like something that I could make some money on. However, in transporting it, which I actually did manually driving it, to the mechanic, Dennis Johnson, my mechanic, I discovered that the vehicle didn't want to go over probably 40 miles an hour. I say probably because also the gauges on the dashboard were not working, the speedometer, the gas gauge, I don't think anything was working, not properly. And this this didn't alarm me totally. The gauges didn't alarm me as much as the transmission apparently not shifting out of that first or second gear, and it had about 256,000 miles on it. So I was concerned that I was going to need a new transmission. But the eternal optimist in me was saying, hey, maybe it's just some kind of linkage adjustment or something that Dennis and the guys can make, and I'll be back on the road for $75. Uh, yes, I am a crazy optimist. And within a few days, of course, Gary from Dennis's place called me to let me know that yes, indeed, it did need a new transmission, and and on top of that, they had to spend a couple of my bucks just to get it running right, so they could find that out. So, the truth is, I bought that car at a dealer auction where they don't allow us to take test drives on a good day. And over the past few weeks, in addition to that, they also wouldn't allow us to even go see the vehicles in advance. Now they've waived that. That was a COVID-19 thing. We're back off of that COVID-19 fear at the moment, at least. So I can go look at vehicles this week. But the fact that I couldn't take a test drive, and the fact that I'm not a wizard when it comes to vehicles mechanically, tells me that even if I did see that vehicle in person, there's a good chance I would have still made the purchase. I might have paid less for it because maybe a couple of my competitors might have been smart enough to back off, but I wouldn't doubt that I would have still bought that truck, and I would have still probably paid what I paid for it, since there was no test drive available. However, it doesn't have to be a total loss, and that's what I wanted to talk about. You've got to be cautious. We've talked about it before. Be cautious, be cautious, be cautious. Always err on the side of caution. I've got another one this week that I'm a little afraid of. I haven't even sat in it yet. It's being delivered to Dennis by a third party, but that's a long story. It might be a home run. It could be a home run, and if it is, I'll share that with you next week because I like talking about the good ones too. But let's talk about the Dodge and how this might not be a bad thing. It's not. It'd be wonderful if the transmission was solid and it was running great. Clean it all up, and I'd at least double my money. A truck in today's market is just booming. Even an old one like that, that would be awesome. But it's not going to happen. Not with the transmission the way it is. And I've got a little more money in it than I would like to. Well, I've got money in it at all. I wished I didn't, but I know that if I had less money in it, I could definitely turn a profit. But let's talk about how I will turn a profit on this vehicle. Now, first off, I'm probably not going to do a lot of cleanup or repair work. I'm going to try to cut my losses right now. Vehicle needs a new battery, but I don't believe I'll put a new battery in it. It'll start with a jump start, runs like a top, really good running engine. I'm probably not going to clean it all up unless I just get some extra time. I'm not going to pay anybody to clean it up. So I got to keep my expenses low, and I know who I'm selling this to now. I'm selling it to someone who is going to either try to buy it and flip it themselves, because they know that if they clean it up, maybe they do the transmission work on it, they'll make some money. And I'm leaving a little meat on the bone by leaving a vehicle that needs to be cleaned and also repaired. Now that person may not want to pay me what I'm hoping to get. But in the market that we're in right now, it's difficult to buy a running vehicle for less than $2,000. And this is a decent truck with some decent tires and okay curb appeal. It's got a bed liner. It's got a radio, power, all the electrical things as far as power. I think it's got a power seat, power windows, power locks. All that stuff works. Of course, got a little electrical issue on the dashboard, but that's another thing that somebody can fix. I know I'm not selling it real hard here, and I'm not trying to sell it to anybody who's listening right now. I don't do that. You know that. But who I'm going to try to sell it to, and how I'm going to do that, well, here's four steps that I'm going to take. First one I've already done. I did a simple video presentation of the vehicle. I just do still photos. Probably not going to even use a video of the vehicle running, although I could. I may make an adjustment, but I already have a video of it online. You can find you'll see the video that we actually made for this one. If you go to the Flipping Genius website, FLIPPINGENIUS.com, and just look at the podcast page, we'll have I believe it's already there. You'll have a video link to the video that we've made for this '01 Dodge Ram. And also you'll see a video of this podcast. If you're not watching by video, I'm going to try to do this more often, where we actually video the podcast, because you guys like watching. That's awesome. I'll try to give you more to look at other than just my ugly mug, but you'll see that too on the Flipping Genius podcast page. So the video is going to be descriptive. In the past, sometimes I've just used just photos and some background music and some text. But on this one, you're going to see I'm actually talking about the vehicle and explaining to the vehicle. One main reason is I don't want to field a bunch of calls from people who haven't read that it has a transmission issue. I only want to talk to people who know it's got a transmission issue. And preferably those who aren't going to ask me what is the transmission issue, because I don't know. There's no doubt. I think listen to me talk, I'm not going to fix the transmission. All I know is that we're not going to pay to fix the transmission either, because if I do it myself, it's going to just remain broken. And if I pay Dennis and the guys to do it, it'll just get too expensive. So the idea here is to leave this opportunity available to somebody who's willing to do the work. So that's the first thing, a video. And one thing that I recognized that I didn't do in the video is use Spanish. And that may be something else we do. I'll talk about that in just a second, but that's something else that I think might be beneficial. Now, I'm not going to speak Spanish, but we could have probably used some Spanish text on the vehicle video, so that I knew that I was also explaining to Spanish-speaking potential buyers that the vehicle needs transmission work and a battery. Naturally, like I said, we are going to use Facebook Marketplace and the other tools that I always use to promote it. And on weekends, that's something we picked up back in episode 110, I think, when we had Vic the Flipper on. Vic talked about doing some Facebook paid advertising to boost those ads on the weekends. I think that's a great idea. And if it doesn't sell quickly, probably throw a few bucks at it, $4 or $5 per weekend, just to boost the number of people who are seeing that post. Although this one seems to be getting quite a bit of attention. So I'm thinking I might be able to hold on some lunch money and not give it to Marketplace. But Facebook Marketplace is the prime place where I'm advertising, both free and now probably paid, based on what we learned from Vic. Now, I mentioned bilingual, and this is something you've heard me talk about before. When I have a truck, I like to do bilingual flyers in both English and Spanish, and distribute those where people use trucks, construction sites. That's my number one place to take to take my flyers. Again, pretty simple flyer, just talks about the vehicle, talks about what's wrong with the vehicle, a couple pictures of the vehicle, and it shares the fact that I don't speak Spanish, but I welcome Spanish-speaking buyers. This one of my favorite things to do. These guys work hard. A lot of them don't have a lot of money, and they do have the ability to do a repair. So this could be an ideal place for me to sell that vehicle. So that's another place where I'm going to promote it. And the last thing, and I don't know that I'll do this. I probably won't do it if one of the other things succeed. But in a few weeks, if I haven't sold this vehicle, I'll probably run down, do a quick cleanup on it, make the pictures look even better than they do now, and I will promote it within my barter organizations to see if I can and sell it on with barter dollars, because right now I'm trying to get some barter dollars together to redo the kitchen in our house and redo our gardening and do some tree removal on our property. I pay for all these things with barter money, so I'm constantly looking for ways to get more barter money too. I've talked about that on many episodes in the past, and I know a lot of you aren't familiar with that. I don't know. By now you should be, because I've talked about it a lot, and it is definitely a way that's very favorable to me. I'd rather have cash. Cash is king, but if I can sell the vehicle for a good price via barter, I'll do that. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for vehicles, especially trucks, who are business owners. And we have over 5,000 business owners that we trade with between the 3 business organizations that I belong to here in the United States. So that's the 4th way that I can think of right away that we can turn that lemon into lemonade. And certainly not trying to hide anything from anybody, trying to sell exactly what we've got, but trying to make sure that the mistake we made at auction doesn't cost us any more than it has to, and possibly uh, makes a profit. And that's what we're in it for, right? Um, Speaking about what we're in it for, nice segue, huh? I want to revisit what we did last week, and forgive me, but it just it's really important to me to talk again, just briefly about our guests in episode 111. We had a gentleman on Marek from Poland, and we talked about his helping the folks from Ukraine. And as of this recording, Marek and his wife have nearly 50 people staying with them in their hotel. I believe over 20 school-aged children are among them, and they are taking care of these folks. They're not charging them any money. They close down reservations at the hotel and just welcome these Ukrainian refugees to come and stay with them. And the people of Poland have been so welcoming, and it's been devastating, I'm sure, to their country as well as to the Ukraine country, of course. Well over 1 million people have come across the border within the first couple of weeks of this terrible war that's going on with Russia. And I don't want to get into any politics. I don't want to get into any of that. I don't want to pretend like I know all the answers to any of this, but I do know that these folks are trying to help the Ukrainian folks, and it's a wonderful thing they're doing. So I just ask you again to consider helping Marek help these folks. And what he asked for specifically is to raise some funds so that they could purchase a reasonably dependable used van, so they could drive more than 3 people at a time where they needed to go. Where they needed to go is to take the kids to school, which the local school has agreed to welcome the kids into their classrooms, to take the adults to different events where they exchange with other Ukrainians and share their plight, to church, and to go shopping, and they just need more vehicles. I saw a picture that they sent me of one of the events they're trying to organize, and they had, I believe, 4 or 5 vehicles that had all come over, and they were trying to facilitate this. And it's just difficult because they're trying to piece all this together, and naturally, with gas being, I believe it's around $9 a gallon in Poland, it's a very difficult time to do that. So that's the whole story. If you watched last week's episode, or you listened to last week's episode, you know more about it. Simple enough. Just go to Van for Kids. That's VANFORKIDS, vanforkids.com, and give them $2, give them $5, give them $50, give them $5,000, whatever you can afford to give. I'm not involved in the collection of the proceeds. I didn't think that would be uh, wise for me to be anywhere near the money. It's not about that. It's just about helping these folks. And you'll see that links directly to a funding page, and the money goes directly to those folks. Thanks so much for considering that. And I think that's all I'm going to talk about that right now. I do want to apologize for the delay of getting this episode 112, out to you. It's been something that I am pretty serious about. Every Tuesday, I make sure we get this thing wrapped up. And today's Wednesday, and I'm wrapping it up today. I'm a day late and a couple dollars short, but I am putting this out there, and I hope that a couple of things that we talked about earlier will help you, and I hope that you'll help Marek. I mentioned it again. And one of the reasons that I'm late is something that's pretty cool, and I'll share briefly on that. Is because I'm on a mission trip to India this week, and I'm lacking sleep. Now I want to be honest about it. It's a virtual mission trip, which is fascinating to me. If you read my blog, you may have read a few weeks ago about some of the marvelous things that have come from COVID-19, and one of them I think is this Zoom thing where we can talk to Marek and bring that conversation to you all the way from Poland, or we can actually go on a mission trip to Poland and still be here to do our thing here in the United States. But despite that, I've been a little nervous about it because I know I'm probably the least qualified person to do this kind of work. So I haven't got a lot of sleep the last couple of days, and it just threw me off my schedule a little bit. But I'm looking forward to getting back on the schedule next week. We've got some great guests coming up, but I want to invite you to be a guest too. Maybe not you, but you. Now, if you're out there and you think you've got a story that would be beneficial for us to share, whether it be about your marketing, about your renovation techniques, about how you find vehicles, about your path to licensing, about the struggles that you've had, or the victories you've had, whatever it is, I would love to have a chance to talk to you and share your story with our audience, preferably live, preferably on video. But if you just want to tell your story and have me tell the story, that's fine too. I'm open to any of that. Reach out to me at flippingquestions@gmail.com. Just send me an email, or if you're on the car flipping forum, send me a message there on Facebook, and we'll talk about it, and we'll try to figure out the best way to bring your story, your questions, your victories, your trials, whatever it is, to the listening audience of Flipping Genius, which is now in, I think, 59 countries in every state in the union. It's exciting. It's exciting, and that's why I was so excited about last week's episode, because I thought, with the power of this tool, we can help somebody on the other side of the country, and I'm still hopeful of that. And the thing is, we can help each other too, and that's what I'm inviting you to do. And please continue to share your story, your ideas, your questions on the car flipping forum. If you're not a member, again, just go to Facebook groups, search Flipping Genius. You'll find it there. Just click to join. I'll ask you a couple questions, answer those questions, and boom, you'll be right in. I try real hard to keep the group clear of any spammers and scammers, and you'll see very little of that. Part of it is just to screen that at the outset, and then part of it is just not to permit any of that once you're in. You're also going to see, when you do that search, you're going to see our car flipping groups, which are our selling groups all over Facebook. And I want to invite you to become a member of those groups too. And if you want to help participate as far as managing the groups, I welcome your assistance. If you've got a group in your local area, which we've got about 23 of them now, join that one that's near you, like Omaha, Nebraska, Detroit, Michigan, Orlando, Florida, Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's a lot of them. But if we don't have one in your area and would like us to start one, just send me a question, send me a email on flippingquestions@gmail.com and just say, hey, Randy, would like to open one up in Boston or Baltimore, or there's a couple, New Orleans. Those are all three places that we don't have them yet. Or wherever your neck of the woods is, and let me know if you'd like to be participating, and we'll sign you up as one of the moderators, and you can get in and help grow it. We just ask that you use it, within the parameters that we set up, but it can be a great tool to help you market your business in every avenue, wherever you're at, whether you're a licensed dealer, whether you're just a new flipper, just getting started. It can be a benefit to you. So I invite you to do that too. I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. I want to thank you profusely to those of you who have helped Marek last week. I apologize. I should have said that right away. Some of you have been very, very generous, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And every penny that you send I know he appreciates. If you listened to him last week, that is one of the most kind, giving individuals I think I've ever talked to. So those of you who have helped, thank you so much. And thank you if you just made the decision just now to help. I appreciate that. And thank you for listening to the podcast and for sharing it with your friends. Please continue to share it. Click on the links, share it on your social media. Just tell people, listen to Flipping Genius. It's a podcast about car flipping, and we can help people make money. That's really what we're trying to do. And I encourage you to do that. If you're considering becoming a flipping team member, a flipping partner, or flipping champion, I would greatly appreciate that too. You can go to flippinggenius.com and click on any of the links, including our link to those things, as well as our links to the Flipping Genius YouTube channel, and our links to the Flipping Genius resources page, and everything else we got. It's right there. Go to flippinggenius.com with 1G and join up. Anything you can think of that we're not doing, share it with us. I'm here to build the best podcast and the best network that I can come up with to help all of us become wealthier. I think that's a good quest, right? Hey, let's all work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses.